Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Um, Back with somewhat of a Sunday kind of like chart analysis breakdown. I want to go through this through the charts just to kind of like give you like a gameplay of what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, or what I'm going to be looking for or looking at tomorrow for Monday. Last week we had an amazing week trading. Had one red day, but then made that money back the following day. I think I told you guys I had lost about $60, but then turned around and made that back and some. So again, sticking with the supply and demand strategy that I use on the daily. Um, just sticking with that and sticking with what I see when it comes to markets. I'm staying consistent with my risk management, as well as sticking to the rules that I use when it comes to day trading. I want to go over this SPY right now. If you can see, as you can see, I'm on the hourly right now. Overall, we SPY has been somewhat in an uptrend. We are creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So it's kind of like you never know with SPY though. That's the thing. It's kind of you just never know. Um, but with that being said, SPY is still looking bullish. So again, the focus is still um, finding opportunity a bullish side. So with that being said, go ahead and look at the 4 hour. We did have some bullish momentum last week, and now I think we're kind of like stuck in this consolidation space where we have somewhat of a support and resistance. Um, Technically, well, from what I was taught and how what I heard is that it's really difficult to trade in consolidation. Um, I personally think that's just up to the person that's trading, to be honest. But again, supply and demand, support and resistance from a support and resistance to me at least seems somewhat basic. You know, there's a base which would be considered the support area where the price hit multiple times throughout the market, and that started last week, which created this consolidation space. And then um, this price up here was hit multiple times to create our resistance. Looking at where current price is right now, as we go down, you see how that is on the hourly. There's a base down here where the price hit multiple times. Yeah, so trying to familiarize myself with trading view. So price was hit here. Price was hit here on the support level. You know, here multiple times. You know, and then obviously that will be considered our support. Resistance here, here, since last week, Thursday and Friday. So again, I believe that there's some continuation. There's some levels that are being created here in this consolidation. Now, for me, if I were to trade anything, I would want to see some type of breakout, and from whether it's going to continue high, like a bullish breakout, and or a bearish breakout, but strong volume going either way. I need to see that breakout in order for me to kind of like get confirmation. Now, that's one way of looking at things. if this consolidation continues, I would, for me, I would, because it hit a previous resistance, I believe, and or what I see is that the price is going towards right back down to the support level, E level right here. If we go down to like the 15, obviously, you can see that the price rallied, hit this support level, and rallied all the way up to the resistance level, previous day high, Thursday high, like from here. This is Friday. It hit this previous day high, and which led the price to come down. So again, there's a number of things that I'm taking into consideration because price can really open up and take out liquidity and hit this support level and take out the previous day lows from last Friday and take out that liquidity. I mean, that would be considered what, like a liquidity sweep, I believe that's called. Um, and the price could sweep it and then rally right back up to previous day high, Friday's high. So again, there's a number of things that you can take into consideration, but me, nothing changes. I don't move until I actually see what I'm looking for in the market. So the possibility that price can open up, especially during pre-market, a lot of stuff can happen during pre-market. But if price rallies down, sweeps this liquidity, and takes out this support level, and continues to rally down, then I'll know that buyers are in control. If I see during pre-market that there's some continuation on this support level, I believe that would tell me or indicate to me that sell buyers are still in somewhat in control. But again, we just never know. I just need to see something in order for me to get into a specific trade. So um, nothing has changed. Again, I only trade SPY. Um, I feel like if you can understand and get clarity on one ticker symbol, then that's all that you need to make money. And I believe SPY has been one of those ticker symbols that has been challenging to me for a very long time. But now that I've um, figured out and or understand the flow of the strategy that I use, um, I'm just going with what I'm more familiar with. SPY is that. So, with that being said, like I said, um, there's nothing is being. I don't see much of anything or any action happening right now. This is aftermarket. Hopefully, when pre-market opens up in the morning, you see some type of something, price hitting this support level, possibly breaking this liquidity sweep or liquidity in this area, and then rallying the price back up again. Because we are in a bullish, somewhat of a bullish market on SPY overall, we are looking for buying opportunities. So I'm going based off of what I see rather than what I think and or know. I believe that that's something that is extremely important when it comes to trading. Make sure that you follow your steps. Make sure you um, follow your steps and your rules when it comes to trading. Like I said, I'll have more information and or I have more data in the morning, but I just wanted to kind of like give a recap on the day trade as far as SPY is concerned. Also, just to give you a heads up as well, I did get into a swing trade on Google. Just want to show you what I saw on Google on the hourly. I noticed that again, price created um, some break of structures here from Tuesday and Wednesday. Price had created some break of structures, which you know, when a break of structure is created, there's demand zones that need to be validated, and or there's demand zones that are automatically created when there is a break of structure. So I noticed that price rallied up on during pre-market on Thursday, which there was a small demand zone like right here on the hourly, but that got invalidated quick during the market. So again, I go based on the next demand zone, another demand zone here. I could say that this you could say that this demand zone was also created. But again, over here on Friday, I noticed that price. Let me just go ahead and delete that. I noticed that price invalidated that candle. Yeah, that demand zone. So I eliminated that. So I'm just going right back down to the next demand zone that had some strength on it still here, and I noticed that there was some consolidation, uh, a breakout from this demand zone. I noticed that price kind of like kind of like slowed down with the sell off, and with this demand zone here, I noticed that there was a uh, I noticed that price rallied down into this demand zone and held and stayed and closed outside of this demand zone, which gave me my um, conservative entry. Um, Now, there's two things that I see when it comes to that conservative entry. Um, I got in when the price closed here, but notice how the price rallied down a little bit here and found its way to create, like it just found its way to continue to consolidate a little bit. Now, the reason why I take this, I'm not worried about this, is I'm still following my rules when it comes to um, supply and demand. I noticed that there was a rally up. I got my and when so this is the thing, when the price ran down inside of this demand zone, that gave me one confirmation. The aggressive trader probably would have seen that and said, "Oh, okay, well this demand zone is being respected, so I'm gonna go ahead and get in." Which again, you can do that, but for me, confirmation is key. When a demand zone is hit, although this demand zone closed inside, although this candle and price closed inside of the demand zone, I needed to see a bullish candle outside of the demand zone to be closed. And this was my, again, I would consider this a conservative, more conservative entry. And again, from there, that's when it's like, I trust the trade that's going to go my way. Um, why? Because I'm following all of my steps and when it comes to supply and demand. Now, I took that conservative trade, and again, I don't know what the market's going to bring here coming Monday, but I do believe that a win, even though let's just say price continues to rally down and it breaks this demand zone, obviously, I'm going to keep my stop loss tight and I might take a hit, couple bucks, whatever. I'm not tripping though, because to me, in that circumstance or in that space, that's not a loss to me because I followed all of my rules. It's just a learning curve. It's just a learning experience. See what I'm saying? So again, as long as you're following all of your steps and rules, and let's just say the trade goes against you, take it as a lesson. Take it as a lesson learned and learn from it rather than saying it's a loss. It only becomes a loss when you don't have money management. You don't have any risk management. You over leverage your accounts, and you're not quick to get out of the trade because you just want to. You think, oh well, the price is gonna go my way, and this and that and the third, and I'm just gonna hold. When it may happen, and or the other side of it is it's not. It's gonna and you're gonna lose all your money. So again, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you're following your steps and you're doing your due diligence. risk management. And you don't want to be into this field and not have set rules, and or be in this field and not hold yourself accountable when it comes to trading in general. So, like I said, I got into this trade because this demand zone hasn't been in has it has was validated based off of what I see right here in this region right here. Um, and it wasn't invalidated. It wasn't invalidated. The price never closed below the demand zone. So from there, it already eliminated one, two previous demand zone, and it's given somewhat of momentum in this demand zone. So again, I took a option contract with Google, and I'm anticipating to at least, if it continues to rally up, at least give me that rally up to the 1-to-1 and or 1-to-2, and possibly 1-to-3. We never know, but at least a 1-to-1. That's what I'm looking for, aiming in general. And if it gives me a little bit extra, all praises to the Most High. I'm taking it. This is the same concept and or idea, swing trade idea, that I did with AMD last week as well. I got into AMD last week. I believe it was on Thursday. Yes, it was on Thursday. I got into it on Thursday. Um, Price, I believe it was on Thursday, and or it was probably on Wednesday. I noticed that price rallied into the area. But in general, I got into no, it was Thursday. Yes, it was Thursday. I got into some plays on AMD, and I noticed that price. I noticed that price created a break of structure in this area right here on Wednesday. There it is. I want to make sure that I'm seeing this. Nope, that's what it was. So here it is. So we had a break of structure. Um, yeah, I did. I got into because I remember I got into some a contract on, and then overnight it rallied up because in this area right here rallied up. The setup though, make sure I actually took pictures of it and posted it in my on the day that I got it. Let me see. I think I was seeing this breaking structure. Overall, I was seeing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So in my mind, I'm thinking there's a possibility that AMD may continue to create higher highs, higher lows, rally the price up. Right? That's exactly what I was looking at. Only because I seen the trend on, as you can see, we have a higher high, higher low, a little bit higher high, higher low, a little consolidation, but higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and that's what I was seeing AMD. So again, just following the steps, following the process, and trusting yourself when it comes to the trades in general. Um, it's one of those things where you just have to kind of like trust that everything you've been practicing and everything you've been studying is going to come to fruition. And yeah, you just have to trust yourself and trust the moves that you made. But with that trade, AMD rallied up during aftermarkets and then pre-markets that morning. I noticed that there was some consolidation and or like some um, hesitation for the 1 to 2 that I had marked up, and I took profits. I think I about $500 to gain $1,000 the following day. I think it was like I ended up getting like $1,200 on that play. So that was a good play. You know, that was a good trade. But again, um, yeah, just trusting the process. I believe that that's the thing. Trusting the process and believing that everything is going to work out the way that you ultimately want it. I think what I seen this demand zone was created during pre-market um, on Wednesday, and so I was anticipating a. That's what it was. Here it is. Wow, I went back on it. So there was a break of structure here. Break of structure. This is Wednesday. There was a break of structure created on Wednesday. Thursday, when I got into it, I was waiting for price to rally, and price rallied during pre-market and rallied back into this demand zone right here. And I noticed that price closed during pre-market outside of that demand zone. And so for me, I was looking for a confirmation candle, at least a green candle, bullish candle, in order for me to get my in order for me to get into the actual trade. So this was the actual trade that I got in. This was the confirmation that I got. The closing of this candle right here. This was my stop loss right there, the bottom of that candle, and or actually I had it. I think I had it for the bottom of this candle and or the whole demand zone. I think if I had it for the whole demand zone, and I rallied and I wanted to get in for a 1-to-1 right here. Got in on Thursday. Notice how the price rallied back down, but it continued as some continuation during pre-market the following day. Because I remember I woke up that morning, I was like, "Oh, pre-market is looking good." So that was the 1-to-1, and then the 1-to-2 was here. Like I said, when market opened, it gave me one. It gave me my 1-to-2. This was the 1-to-1. Exactly what I was looking. Gave me my 1-to-1 here. Then 1-to-2. Now again with quick swing trading, you're getting in, holding it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, week, whatever. Taking your profit that the price is either go up and continue to rally up from 1 day to the next, 1 day to the next week. But me, I try to find buying opportunities within when it comes to swing trading within at least 1 to 2, sometimes 3 days. If I see opportunity, I definitely want to take advantage of that. But that only happened because I noticed that AMD was creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Consolidation a little bit here, higher high during pre-market high, during pre-market on Friday, and then boom, look what happened. Bought in down here at $251.46 and closed at $265.55 for a 2-to-1. Like I said, it's those moves that you would take to get profits. So, but the strategy itself that I use doesn't change. I noticed that there was a break of structure on Wednesday, which created a demand zone. Price rallied down during pre-market on Thursday. hit that demand zone and close way high above the demand zone, which indicated to me that buyers are still in control. So once I seen that green candlestick created right next to it, got into that. I got into that closing green candlestick and just held it. What happened? Boom. Rallied up a little bit, rallied back down to my previous entry price, but then during pre-market, during aftermarket, and then during pre-market the following day, boom. That's a let me see. That is a $14 move that happened overnight. Massive move. So again, the power of trading is amazing. Um, don't want to hold you guys long because again, most of my trading is gonna, or most of my setups are gonna happen in the morning. But I just wanted to share that with you guys and hopefully kind of like encourage you to kind of like look into um, the possibilities when it comes to trading, and the possibilities when it comes to investing in yourself and things. Again, my name is Kendrick McMillan. I am not a financial advisor. I am just a young man um, that enjoys trading the markets and finding opportunity to make some extra coin, well as health with outside of 9 to 5 things of that nature. We can capitalize on the tools that we have, like our cell phone, iPads, laptops, to make extra money. Then I think that that's an amazing place to be. With that being said, you all have a wonderful night. I'm going to go get some rest, and I will see you all bright and early tomorrow morning for another trade recap. Again, if you enjoy the videos, make sure you leave a comment down below. Make sure you let me know what you're actually looking at on the markets, and possibly share your YouTube channel and your strategy so that we can all just learn, grow, and eat and take care of ourselves and our families. You all have a wonderful night, and like I said, I will see you all in the lessons to you all.